action or energy, sir?
Action.
So this is potentially what we could be seeing in the next 2 to 3
Your
rounds,
choice.
depending on how they do with
Hooray,
the
none
rest
of
of
us
their
have
brackets.
PXG,
I
Okay.
told you they were
Sorry about
closer in
that.
bracket, but it turns out that they're not.
Why you gotta be like that, sir?
So you could
They're on
chalkboard
opposite ends
one
of the
to
bracket.
go.
So it'd be a couple rounds away.
I guess I will go first.
Yeah, they would either have to play each other in a losers round bracket, or they would have to play each other in like the winners semis.
Okay.
Which, by the way, so going off of just real quick, just as an aside, since this is a practice game,
That's a kid.
the best of 3 winner losers bracket, I feel it's so much better, and it flows so much better whenever it comes to Dice Masters than the best of 1 Swiss
Do
rounds.
you have?
Yeah.
Just Blackbird, right?
Just in terms of like adapting, or you just think it's just a better format all around?
I don't like
In terms of adapting, because in best of 1 games, you never really get the chance to
Oh,
feel
yeah, I'll
out
feel
what
that,
your
dude.
opponent's
I
doing
will
overall.
use Blackbird
You get a
to turn
chance
off
to
Blackbird and
see
I'll
their
play
whole
like
team,
with yours.
but you don't get a chance to like look at how effective
You have no
it
bad resets, right?
is when
No,
playing it
just
like
chalkboard
100%
Right.
versus the
Not
50%
really.
that you get with the best of 1.
Right. You can't reflect on your performance and see what to do better next time.
Yeah. And you can't adjust to whatever their counter strategy is either. And
Uh-huh.
you're expected to do it in the same game, and that's bad.
What, you mean you don't have time to play your game and adjust and think of what they're doing all at the same time?
Yeah, I can't do that. That's on a different level. Maybe that's why I'm not nationals champ and these guys are.
So, in terms of first purchases, where do we feel like Shadow's going to go here?
He's gonna go Wonder Ring.
They're not terrible.
Okay.
They're a little low for her purchase cost, and her fielding cost is this shit.
Yeah.
I will.
So pick up Cassie and just leave a few for some ramp stuff later.
Yeah, Ben doesn't exactly have
a
a
ring of
very good way to
magnetism
ramp outside of chalkboard,
and hold on
which
to
isn't
this
really
in case
ramping
you
per
attack me
se.
with
It's
the
just
cycle.
helping him get his
Open up.
cards faster,
Right.
or his dice
Fair
faster.
enough.
Sorry.
Okay.
Your turn.
Well, speaking of.
Speaking of the best role,
Okay.
That's actually a
sidekicks.
really good roll.
Yeah. I do love the old foil scarecrow over here on this side.
Oh yeah, that scarecrow is
Oh, you
amazing.
suck.
I love Ben's team.
Maybe we should get the bolt.
During practice
No
runs,
energy
he had like
no
4
energy,
potential teams
no
that he was running,
Blackbird.
Fixes.
and
Just
after testing
Blackbird.
against me and a few other players, he decided on
Field
that on this
those.
version that he has right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is my favorite by far.
Chalkboard.
It looks super fun. I mean, it's all like fun cards. Like Daisy, super fun. Beholder, super fun. Scarecrow, super fun.
How do you
Everything
know
else is
stuff?
just sort of a,
They all have
auxiliary.
their interactions, which
Okay.
is great because they're versatile.
I guess
Mhm.
I just want to buy that. Huh. That's not the best thing in the world, but it will do. Okay, this dude, and buy a beholder.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that he can do. He can potentially use one of his globals or the SR black one or SR71.
Well, that's 3 masks.
Global.
I mean, it should be enough, right?
Yeah, I want to say that Shadow shut down his own Blackbird
Fair
at
enough.
the end of his last turn. Maybe. I don't remember.
Your turn.
Regardless, it's not his turn anymore. So Cassie's been bought. The ring is in the use pile. Going to be coming out next turn.
So really, there was no question that was gonna happen.
Right. Which is one cool thing about Golden at this point is players, especially this experience level of player, is really good about using bag manipulation to make their plays way more consistent. I mean, it still comes down to does Cassie roll next turn, but
Sidekick.
that being said, everything that could have been done to set him up has been done.
Stupid. I'll buy a beholder.
So what's key there that you said a
And
lot
then
of
I'll turn
people
off
don't have that experience mainly because they haven't
that
played
bit.
enough global or global escalation or golden, since that's where
Your
the cards
turn.
that are broken are played the most. So it's kind of hard whenever you're dealing with stuff like PXG or chalkboard. It adds an extra level of variance to the game, or it removes levels of variance to the game, that you're not used to playing unless you've been playing that for several years or at least several
Roll
games or
six.
tournaments worth.
Right, and the super tricky part as a player who's coming up from the bottom is like, if you miss one chalkboard or if you miss one PXG, you
I'll pay a
are so far
15 here,
behind
and I'll buy a
someone who has been seasoned in playing those things.
Yeah, he's gonna
Confront the
purchase a Confront the Mighty here. Yep, for 2.
Yep.
So Confront the Mighty is still really good to help
Good turn.
with that Beholder, and it
Green flag.
also beefs up one of his
more.
sidekicks to deal with said Beholder.
Yeah, Beholder has some chunky stats for people that haven't played this card.
So I actually featured this card a lot in my Hella Beholder combo breakdown, so
Mhm.
I know this thing by heart. And so its stats are high attack and not as high, but still high defense. So with a Confront the Mighty, you're always guaranteed to knock him out even on its level 3 side.
Right, because Confront the Mighty, it changes your attack to their... No,
Defense.
yeah, it changes your attack to their defense, and then you deal your attack to each other.
Correct.
Do I really care about these?
Let me get my
Get them.
card text page up here.
Sure. I will pay 1 to field this beholder. I will do chalkboard and I will do blue eyes.
Okay, so
Sure.
with his ability text, it says
I will
when
field this
fielded,
beholder.
you
will
may
do
use up to,
blue eyes.
or you may use 2 different global abilities for free. So the
I
free
will
is the
do
key part here because it doesn't matter if it's
Blackbird,
being
turn off
taxed
Blackbird,
by
please.
an Oracle or
I'll spend 2 for Hulk, I think.
a Tomb Guardian. You're already paying the
Pass
cost
priority.
through the Beholder's
Pass back.
ability.
Right, so you sort of circumvent a little bit of control,
5 and a 4-3.
but it is a win-fielded ability, thus requiring some cycling and some strategic planning.
My turn.
So with the Beholder on his own team, Ben can essentially field one to use both the chalkboard and the Blue Eyes White Dragon to make his highest purchase cheap as well as already prepped.
Right, discount plus speed,
And then I'll
all for the
roll
price
the
of a
rest.
fielding.
It's really good, and his first 2 levels are free to field, and his last one is 1 cost.
Okay.
Right, with a
Best
6/5 stat line.
Not exactly what I
Yeah,
wanted.
and to me, this is the
Field
best
3
design
sidekicks,
card
Put a ring on
in
Cassie.
Dice Masters because of its combination of a really good stat line as well as a low purchase cost and an energy type that is very easily accessible as far as energy types go.
Right, I mean, masks ruled the game for a long time.
Yeah, and then shields started to kind of, poke in. And what Shadow pointed out to me a few tournaments back whenever we were doing some testing, I asked him, why do you like shields so much? And he was like, well, you look at all the previous teams that have won a Nats or a
I
Worlds,
will.
the majority of them have been shield-focused energy types.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's true. You've got your chalkboard,
Buy another Confront
you've
the
got your
I will
Wonder
kill this.
Ring, which can help with that combo.
Sure.
You've got Constantine, super rare,
next
that's an
I buy
energy
this time
type
in
or
free
energy
for
type of
2
shield.
less.
So a lot of good cards are
Okay.
shield energy types.
Fielding costs.
Right, I mean, what, a year ago we had Blob sweeping the nation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that uncommon
I'll
and rare
pay
blob
those
were
to
just
field these
super good.
guys,
Right?
with the
Bodhi
Blob
says Rez in the
for
chat,
blue
of
eyes.
course.
Yes, Rez, how
I'll
could I
buy
forget
Daisy
that?
Johnson.
Daisy, speaking of power shields,
Then
get crazy,
Daisy's
Daisy.
a lot of
guess
fun
I will
with
swing
Hulk.
with these 2.
So Patrick's probably gonna drink him. Probably gonna
Yeah,
block
both
with some
6/5s.
sidekicks.
Yeah. What level's that Hulk?
Yeah, and I imagine he can't just straight up take 12 here. He also doesn't necessarily. I mean, if he has ways to bounce them, like chump blocking, that's going to be the. It's going to be the key here. Oh, we did let one
I
through.
don't know if that's a fair trade because what he's trying to avoid here is leveling up the Hulk all the way. And if those 2 sidekicks block, then
Maybe.
they level up Hulk to level 3.
Or do I want to just turn off your
Yeah.
Blackbird?
So he's probably gonna turn off the Blackbird here, so that.
What are you gonna Blackbird that I really care about? Not all that much.
Well, the static field. That's what he's probably gonna either Blackbird or just Blackbird
No, that's
the
fine. I'll
static
let
field
the
itself.
block occur.
Alright, so you spin up and I take 6.
Yep.
Alright. Still the stag. Draw 4. 1 confront the mighty.
It looks like Cassie's on level 2, which could come in handy at least
Oh,
temporarily.
Well, this is really good if he has confront the mighty, then he can take out that Hulk.
Right. Right. At this point, he doesn't care about Beholder as much as getting Hulk out of the field.
Kick.
Confront the Mighty, not going to play, though.
I mean, he could potentially Phantaza here to try to help him out. He could Rogue. I think going for an Imprisoned would be better, though.
Blackbird, this sidekick to buy an Imprisoned.
He's Blue Eyes White Dragoning.
There it is.
Yeah.
And
Right. He's blue-eyesing the sidekick.
Yeah, he said Blackbird, but
rip it
we knew what he
over.
meant.
And then I will.
Wait, you
I'm
paid the
betting
2
he
from
still has
Confront
us.
the Mighty, though.
He still has our
Yeah,
volume
so-
up on
yeah,
the stream.
duh.
He's probably listening to us.
He's got his headphones on. He's taking in every word.
I don't know if we're doing him much justice, though, as far as explaining the decision-making process.
Yeah, I feel
or
like
even
he's
how he plays.
he's well aware of how to play this,
Turn
probably.
off the Blackbird.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a smart
Blackbird
move for
off
Ben.
again.
it's your turn. Blackbird's back on.
So his Daisy Johnson is definitely going to help him. The good thing about Daisy Johnson on Ben's team specifically is that he doesn't hurt any of his characters because
no
all of his
shield is
characters
better.
have a
No
toughness
shield is
way greater than
Better.
So I guess
Daisy
I
Johnson's
roll-
maximum damage
Okay.
output.
So
Mhm.
I have a 2 in 6 chance. So if I roll 3,
Uh-huh.
technically, I should almost be guaranteed one, huh?
I like the mathematics here.
If you count the question
Technically.
mark, yeah.
I would
Okay,
actually go
let's-
for
let's
all
leave
the
it
sidekicks.
I mean, I
mean,
did
he
that
can-
first turn and got 3
you
misses, so.
Oh, jeez, that's rough.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
And
fine.
there's no
I will
fixers
field
to help
Daisy.
him.
Yeah, I bet.
And, play that.
Ross, if I invited you to this global escalation, what do you think you would be running?
Huh. See, I'm such a Jimmy player, though. Like,
Blackbird.
I would probably be playing something super silly, which is, again, why I'm not in these high-level tournaments, because it's like, well, first round bye goes to whoever plays Ross. I don't know. I have been...
Let Kate and let,
I do get excited by, like, flying sidekick sort of
not
teams,
block.
and I feel like
You
with
don't
the
let 'em all through.
global escalation list, there's still a lot of wiggle room in that sort of realm. So probably some sort of, like, weenie team, or
KO Hulk.
maybe
Oh,
even
then KO Hulk,
swarm
distract your-
into, like, a big buff, or like a field buff or something. I don't know.
So I take 3.
Okay.
Yep.
It's pretty interesting.
11.
Yeah, it would not compete with the high level control / direct damage that is sort of the way of the word now.
I'll let you in on a little secret.
Draw.
These guys had put together a lot of their teams a week to 2 days later before they submitted their team, which was pretty much last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it was last minute on my part as well. I forgot to send the link out
Still have this.
for the form. So a lot of people, they had it.
No,
They
for
had their
KO Hulk.
teams built already, technically, but a lot of them just submitted super late
Mhm.
or last minute. So Imprisoned would be really good here, and I think that's why Shadow kind of let the Beholder stay, as well
I
as
will reroll the
he was.
conflict.
If you notice, Ben KO'd the Hulk to keep
Right.
it out of
It's
Imprisoned
nuts.
reach.
Right. I mean, even as quickly as he can buy another Hulk, it's not necessarily part of his game plan to lose that.
Buying another Hulk for Ben means that he's not winning.
Right.
He's actually spending more
pay,
resources than what it's taking him to
shield
win.
and 3 generic energy, so I have 1 floating.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. And you blackbirded the blackbird, yeah?
I Blackbird and the Blackbird, yeah.
It is always interesting to
hearing
me,
you say that.
right? It's always interesting to me to see what people use as their floating generic energy.
So investigating a tune, it's interesting. So Bodhi, you would probably run a lot of attune
I'll
characters
just
plus
burn the one
investigation,
and pass the
make it cheaper and loop all
Okay.
your investigations, as well as Throne Brick maybe in there.
Oh, see, that was a good plan until this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben ran into
Okay.
one of the horrible things that can happen, and that is #bad rolls.
Hashtag bad rolls indeed. He gets Beholder, which is gonna,
Okay.
again, not necessarily win him the game, but you know, it's gonna help things along.
So he can Field Beholder, Blackbird, the static field
I
ability.
found a shield.
Cool.
Okay, I'll field a chalkboard. I'll field the whole
Or-
I'll do chalkboard and blue eyes.
Yeah. He could do
There
that
you
to
go.
get his rare crow out.
KO. This beholder, I guess.
So -4.
And buy another Hulk for 2.
Oh geez.
Yep.
So he's in
Oh, yes,
trouble.
I will turn off.
Yeah, I think he decided that it was
Nice, I did.
it was go time or no time, I guess.
I'll turn off Blackbird.
Sure.
Path priority.
Pass by.
This is actually a pretty rough
Oh, 10.
situation to be in, but it's because
Draw 3.
it's more than likely because he didn't
Still
want to
the
take his chances
bag.
on rolling one Hulk die. He wanted to increase
Wait,
his chances by
didn't
rolling more than one.
I buy a Finthaza?
I don't know. Maybe. You bought something. What did you buy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It
bought
was a
some
Finthaza. I didn't put it
You
in
had
the-
one floating. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
you know, one of the only variances that are consistent in this game is the dice rolling aspect, which makes it the most fun.
And it also gives it that random feel that other card
let's
games
see,
have
how much do I do to
in
your
drawing
ideas right
shuffle
now?
decks.
Right.
Because in this game, you can
3,
manipulate which
4,
dice you draw out of the
5,
bag or don't
6,
draw out of the bag
7,
and
8,
have available, but you
9,
cannot
10,
manipulate
11, 12,
the rolls
13,
as much. You could
14,
do
15,
energy fixers. Now they have energy fixers that come in the form of sidekick energy fixers, and they have Clayface
Mm-hmm.
global from the new Justice set. That for a mask you can spin any type of die to any type of energy face from your use pile, which is nice, but it doesn't give you the rolls that you
That's
need
fair.
per se for characters.
Right. I mean, short of what is that? Rip Hunter, the one where you can choose a die and what face that it goes
Right,
on. Like,
correct.
is that maybe the only character die face manipulation in the game?
Yes and no. You have other
You
stuff
are good.
that lets you.
I guess moving things from your use pile into your field zone.
Yeah, that would help too.
But I can't think of anything else that comes out of your bag. You know, you pull stuff out of your bag and you can manipulate what side you roll it onto.
That is exactly a problem.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, Parallax does count as
Still
re-rolling,
field that. You're
but
on
it
11.
still has the same it still carries
on
the
what
same
level?
variance, and
You're at 11.
especially at a price, you're paying 1 for
Field
each
everything.
of
Can't
each
put
re-roll, which means
everything.
you're increasing the amount of
Increasing
resources
health.
you're putting into that variance.
Right. Right. If you just would have rolled the first time, you wouldn't have had to pay anything for it. Why can't we all just approach the game like that?
So Ben is having trouble because if he has to field, because he's working on his fielding costs here, he has to field Daisy for 1, I
Oh,
believe, or
stupid
it might
sidekick
be.
once again.
Yeah,
It looks like
I think it's
1, and Hawk is on fielding cost 2.
Yeah, so he has a sidekick. I think he's determining either a reroll or if I think he's determining whether or not to
I mean, you could
field that
technically field all
Daisy
of it.
Johnson.
I know.
Right, but again, Daisy without shields is, you know, not as good as she could be. But Daisy with shields and no Hulk is just as
And
pointless.
5 in bag if it helps.
Yeah, all he's gonna hope to do here is just knock out the
yeah, but your chance
sidekicks
of getting
because
it doesn't really-
that's all he's gonna be able to do.
I mean, it's 4 out of 5, so yeah.
You don't have enough to kill me. You wouldn't be up to 14 anyway, because your character from Confront the Mighty would have died, right? What's Fenthal's defense?
I would have also attuned you.
What's Fenthal's stats?
I mean, knocking out Cassie at this point,
And
You know, how many turns does that take then for the ring to get back through the bag?
So 3 plus 4 plus 2 sidekicks.
You know what?
is
I don't know how the
9,
ruling
plus
is
4
with the
characters
ring, but I
plus
believe
1,
the
so
ring
9 plus
stays
4 is
out.
13,
Oh, that's
plus
disgusting.
The
2 for
monster
1
that
is
it's
14.
attached to is KO'd. I don't.
What?
No, no, no.
Plus for what?
It
Fantastic?
goes into
Oh,
the
it's the
use.
+1.
It does.
attack.
I
It's
forgot about
plus
that.
1 to all your characters. It's
So the
a
problem
small
with
bar.
ring
thought it was the
is
other
that
one.
it's not ruled as a
No, it's every
continuous.
time I play an action
Right, it's
roll,
play on a monster. It's not play in the field. So,
So she's
Yeah,
the
I like
Black
that.
Widow. She's the
of
Black
course,
Widow.
I don't know if it got one of those awkward erratas that they never really posted anywhere.
that they might not do it until it comes up in a major tournament.
Right, exactly.
That way around.
So one of the things that Ben could possibly hope for is that
Well, I wanted an
Shadow misses his Confront the Mighty after fielding all of his characters, because
Think about
then
it,
he
Hulk too.
could get away with leveling up the Hulk
that
every
back as well.
time Shadow goes to attack
You have
with
2
his
actions
beefed
coming
up
up next,
Fenthaza team.
so I'll have 1
Mhm.
buffer.
But also he has to be afraid of that imprisoned that's coming around.
Right, because if all of his stuff gets imprisoned and then, you know, Shadow pushes through for... Even if he's bringing 3 sidekicks, Fenthaza, who could be up to, you know, what, 7 or 8
1,
at that
2.
point, I guess? How many actions he has?
I think
He
I
has
think
1,
Joe
2.
said that the line is what,
1 imprisoned and
slow play more?
2,
Sorry.
maybe? Maybe 1 and 1? I don't know.
So if you roll 2, so you'd have to roll another psychic to win. So you currently be on 18. Okay.
Ben is not slow playing, by the way. He's
I
already
know.
rolled twice and like made decisions.
Pew.
I know.
Let
Hey,
me do.
hey. I'm mentally intimidating my opponent.
The-
You, sir, are the slow player with your control team.
Hey, I am playing my turns relatively quickly.
Pass.
I will
Fight.
Blackbird the Blackbird.
Yeah.
Not that you have any energy. Pass back.
Yeah.
So Patrick's in a
you're
good spot. He's
done.
in a commanding lead right about now.
Well,
Yeah, he's got all of his moving pieces out there. I mean, he's got all of his...
It kind of does, but
Yikes.
He's where
So
he
here's
wants
the
to
two
be at this
actions
point.
That you were talking about: Confront the Mighty and
if
Imprison.
you roll 2 actions and a psychic, you win.
Right, so again, Fenthaza gonna be doing work here if both of these actions roll.
No, you roll 2 fists. You're 18 damage. I know it's you.
1 action,
Right.
no sidekicks yet.
So he needs to roll a fist, another fist, and or sidekick.
Oh my
so
God.
First things first.
You get both actions.
I will confront the mighty, targeting Hulk and Wonder Girl. Wonder Girl redirects it to your sidekick. Your sidekick kills your Hulk.
Okay.
Get wrecked. I will tune you for 1.
Yep.
All my dudes get +1/+1.
Mhm.
I will imprison your dudes.
That's a
and then
problem.
Tune Fenthaza.
Wait, with Confront the Mighty, do you get to redirect that?
Yeah, it says
It's all actions.
target character die you control has an attack equal to the target character I control. So I target a character I control. She's targeted. I redirect it to you.
I know, but surely.
So
Is it my
it's
action dice
actually the
ability?
text on the Ring of Magnetism that comes into play here, Shadow. Because Ring of Magnetism says that
It
all
Ring of
actions.
Magnetism has no effect on me because it's my Ring of Magnetism.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. This is why I hate Ring of Magnetism.
Okay, so target character die you.
This is why I swear that WizKids did not pick Global Escalation as the format they wanted to play for Globe Worlds. Because they didn't want to have to deal with all this.
Yes,
So the
they would.
target
Yeah,
character
you
die I
are correct to
control
an
is
extent.
your sidekick.
Like, they did not want to have to rule on all those cards that they errated back in the day.
Equal to the defense.
They didn't want to have to go say that they were wrong about Vulture because now the power is creep is way higher.
That's what Cassie said.
I know, but I'm not.
Which
But-
vulture are you talking about?
I'm talking about the, isn't there like an unblockable one or something?
Targeted, not necessarily
I guess
by
doesn't
you.
have to be by me.
Right.
Okay,
Oh no, it was the +4/+4 one, right?
you put in those.
I imprison those. I attune Fenthaza.
I'll have to look
so
it
I
up.
break
I'm not
the
too
imprison.
familiar with any of the vulture
When
cards.
Vulture blocks,
So all
deal
I got
1
is
damage to each
+1,
attacking character
so
die.
this is
When any
5,
character die leaves the field zone,
3,
Vulture gets +4 attack until the end of
5
turn.
and 6 is 11 and 9 is 20 on the board. plus
Oh
2
yeah,
fists.
that is actually really good.
And they said that it was only once per turn, but it says when any character leaves the field zone,
No, this
Yeah.
is
which would be absurd with some of the globals that we have that just straight up remove characters from the field.
Yeah, or imprisoned
makes sense.
itself.
Right,
That's how
exactly.
people were playing it out. They were like, I'll
Yep.
imprison 4 of your sidekicks, and I'll give Vulture plus 16,
I mean, it's
and
a
I'll
good
make him
game in that it
unblockable with
highlights
Swords of Revealing
all the
Light
features
Global.
of both our
Right.
teams because you had lethal.
Thus,
if you
we
wanted
break
it.
2 cards, get them on the ban list.
Yeah, I did.